Halfway through the fourth T20 International at the Westpac Stadium in Wellington, and not quite turning out the way things were expected, not a mountain of runs, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, a pretty decent total put on by Team India. Huffed and puffed their way to the end, with Manish Pandey getting a half century, batting down the order where he likes to bat. 165 for 8. The two spinners really putting the brakes on, 4 for 52 in the 8 overs between them. The wickets going chiefly to Ish Sodhi. 166 the target for New Zealand. Incidentally, 165 is the lowest total ever successfully defended at in T20 International in New Zealand. So, chance for India to try and replicate that. Here we are on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live to try and see what India's chances are. Zaheer Khan, Harsha, Bhogle in the studio. Just looking at that effort, we keep talking about Manish Pandey putting his hand up and saying, I like to bat at 5 or even lower, and it showed why.
He's got runs at number 3, though. Don't forget, in the IPL, he first made his name batting at number 3 for
KKR.
Would have been for KKR. Yeah, I think Viru was pointing that out. But you need that one batsman batting all the way down. I think it's a good score, 165. When they were 88 for 6, my mind was going back to Nagpur, I must admit. Ball is doing a little bit. New Zealand spinners are rampant. So I think 165 is a decent score. It's just that the pitch report kept saying great track to bat on. Was it a great track to bat on?
Well, I think it
wasn't bad.
It is. I think you could have got more runs if you're looking to analyze that. Okay, what kind of total India could have got? You look at the halfway mark, 10 overs, 83 runs. If there were 2 less wickets at that stage, then I think the platform was set to go out and get 180 plus. Yeah. So I think it is that kind of a surface. Even if there is that extra bounce, the spinner is getting little bit of help. You've seen that puff of dust, or I don't know what it was from that wicket, which was every time the ball was pitching, you could see that in replays. But I think the way Manish Pandey batted on this track is the template of how one should approach on batting on this kind of a surface, and that's why you have to give full marks to Manish Pandey to really understanding the situation. The situational awareness, the conditions, what kind of conditions are on offer, how one should build the innings, and because the wickets have fallen, the importance of this innings has even gone higher because of the simple fact that that added pressure also he had to deal with in terms of keeping the strike, running those twos hard. So I think looking at this, we have to see what kind of approach New Zealand batters walk into bat. So India, from that situation of worry, has definitely come to a scenario where they have something to play around with. They can make a match out of it, and also the fact that the spinners bowled about 8-9 overs in those middle overs,
4 for 52,
and could do that impact. So that's where I think Indian camp will be thinking, hang on, if we get a good first 6 overs, maybe get a couple of wickets in that first 6 overs. Bring the spinners on; they can really make the match for us on this particular day. So we'll have to see how that approach of New Zealand and their weakness against spin is exploited by the Indian bowlers. If they're able to achieve it, I think they will be able to defend the total.
Just to stay on Manish Pandey for a moment, it was also a matter of the temperament that he had, because with Yuzvendra Chahal coming at 9, with all due respect to 10 and 11, that shows that you're not batting that deep.
Chahal would have been cutting a cake to bat at 9. I don't know. I mean, I was just telling Viru upstairs, when we started off in our school team, 9 standard children up to 12 standard, batting at number 11, day in, day out, batting at 11. When you move from 11 to 10, it was like, wow, I've done something big in life. Chahal batting 9, he would have been dancing in the dressing room. But the point is valid.
Only for today, but then now Saini has showed some kind of form with the bat. Then again, Chahal.
But if Chahal is batting at 9, just places Manish. I think that's the point you're making. Just places Manish Pandey's innings in greater perspective. I think his temperament has not been in doubt. I think he brings a calm head to most situations. A bit like Dhoni, he's always taking the game to the end. You're wondering, is he scoring quickly enough or no? But 50 from 36 in this situation is a good innings. Little disappointed with Shivam Dube and Washington Sundar, and I don't know about Sanju Samson. And he plays the shot of the game, and then boom, gone. He's like a firecracker, gone.
The last time around also, 6 of the first ball he faced, out next ball.
So big firecracker. What do we call it when we kids? Lakshmi bomb, firecracker, and gone.
Yeah, so again, that's something to look at. Rishabh Pant will be looking and wondering, well, should I have been there in the first place? But another factor to look at as we start looking ahead to the run chase is put into context the 165 for a Williamson-less New Zealand team.
Yeah.
How big a factor is
I think it depends on how well India bowl. That's what I was just telling Zach. I'm very keen to see how Washington Sundar bowls. I think Jadeja would have bowled beautifully on this track, but I'm very keen to see how Washington Sundar bowls his 4 wickets, because you'd much rather he be 3 for 30 than none for 22. So I'd be very keen to see how Washington Sundar bowls on this track. He bowls well. Chahal will bowl well. If Sundar bowls well, I think we've got a chance.
In both the games, in the three previous games, you've seen Sodhi and Santner bowl in tandem straight after the power play, as have Indian spinners. In that case, it was Jadeja and Yuzvendra Chahal. But today, are you expecting, given that Washington Sundar has come in, given that we've talked so much about him bowling in the power play, do you still see that template of 7 to 10 or 12, or are you looking at Sundar in the power play, perhaps 1 over?
I think you'll see seam up bowlers bowling in that first 6 overs. So the Indian team would like to stick to what has been working for them in the recent past, and once the power play is off, if there is help for spinners, you would ideally want the spinners to bowl in those middle overs, and you've seen that extra bounce as well in the wicket. So that's something which Saini can exploit those conditions. I think the approach and in terms of stack up of overs, Virat will continue with whatever he has been doing in the past, which is Shardul starting with the new ball, along with maybe Saini, or maybe because it's a relatively under par kind of a total, then he'll bring Bumrah up front with the new ball, and then look to use pace of Saini in the later half of the power play.
One other factor to bring in was Shreyas Iyer, who's looked so good. Today he came in, he had a lot more time to bat, no Rohit Sharma in there, and it's almost an opportunity saying that here's 70-80 for the asking, but it just looked as if every time they were pitching it short, he was going down the leg side. It didn't look that comfortable.
It's a message that have gone around the world, that the way to bowl to Shreyas Iyer, and would have gone to the rest of the world after that stark delivery against Australia, that the way to bowl to Shreyas Iyer is to dig it in short, because he'll start to get inventive rather than play like a proper batsman. So he'll have to find a way out. He's a seriously good player. So I'm sure he'll find a way around this new challenge that's been thrown at him, where bowlers are going to hit the deck back of a length or maybe even shorter than that against him.
So we did ask the question at the start of this show, with this innings about to begin, about what will New Zealand's approach be. Now, will their approach change? I mean, we know how Munro and Guptill play always. Will their approach change based on knowing that there's a Tom Bruce instead of a Kane Williamson, because he's been such an impact player?
Well, they would want to have a similar kind of start. When you are chasing down, say 160, 170, that kind of a total, you need that 50, 55 runs in that first 6 overs without losing too many wickets, which New Zealand has been doing consistently. So I think they would want to keep that approach the same. Get to that kind of a total, not being bogged down, because in these kind of totals, if you give that early breakthrough, the pressure comes onto your middle order very soon, and with Kane Williamson not being there, that pressure is going to be mounted double. So that's something which they have to be careful of. Guptill and Munro both have looked good with the new ball, so they would want to go in with a similar kind of approach. What they need to do is those middle overs, not really get the spinners get heavy on that middle over. So that is something which they have to tackle. You've seen Guptill and Munro both play with a heavy hand, and that is something which may work in Indian spinners' favour. And usually you've seen with this New Zealand batting that they were not comfortable taking the singles. And this is not a wicket where you can play big shots consistently. I think you have to be selective. That's what Manish Pandey's innings showed today, that you have to be selective in your approach in terms of your big shot making. This is not a kind of track where you can just, once you're set, can just, start hitting through the line. You have to be selective in picking the right deliveries. And that is something which we'll have to wait and see how it goes. So from India's point of view, I think in the middle overs, they have to be really focused on cutting those singles. If they do that, I think they will create a scenario where New Zealand batsmen will start getting themselves out. And if that happens, then it will be happy days out there for Indian
I'm also
bowlers.
very keen to see how they field, because I thought in the last game fielding was...
It was kind of disguised because of everything that happened at the Super Over.
India didn't field well at all. Now, who's not playing today? Jadeja is not playing. Rohit Sharma is not playing. Now, if you had to pick your top 6 fielders, these two would have been in the top 6. So you've lost 2 quality fielders. Saini has come in, but Saini for Shami is sort of par. But Washington Sundar for Jadeja, and Washington for a young man is not the fielder that he should be.
All right, just to wrap up, the reason we also threw those numbers at you, 68, 48 and 51 are New Zealand's power play scores so far in the series. The My 11 Circle expert couch, which was pretty much placed here, but missed out by 2 runs, which means there's one more shot at it for the second innings, 6th over, power play for New Zealand. 68, 48, 51 today, different scenario.
50 for 2.
50 for 2. You don't have to get the wickets, it's just 50. The runs. 50.
I think 45.
50, 45.
Not mentioning wickets, it doesn't matter.
Okay, 40, I'll go with 40.
What
Go hard, lose wickets.
Listen, have a mind of your own. What do you think?
No, I am.
You must say what you think.
I am
Don't
saying
go
what
by
I
what Zach is saying.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm going
sledging
40.
you. I'm just sledging you.
I'm going 40. I'm trying to go lower here. Indian bowlers on top. It looks windy, blustery, dark clouds around there, no rain. So it's not comfortable conditions to be out there. Though if you're a New Zealander, that's probably a bright, nice summer's day. We'll check what happens in the power play. But of course, the 10th over Cricbuzz Combox will be a good indicator of where New Zealand are with this run chase. 166 is the target for them. This is My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.